Hello, mate. Are we live? Oh, look out! I'm what's the word? I'm not used to being the guest.
Oh, that's so good. It's going to
You
be
should have
funny
you
watching you sitting there.
swapped me around the other way, so you're like the left, and isn't the left meant to be the guest? I don't know. I got
Oh,
no
who
idea.
cares?
Right.
I like being on the right because I'm always right.
Yeah. Very good, mate. Very good, dude.
How are you, buddy?
I am good.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit windblown, so we, like I said, we had a nice little family photo shoot this morning, which was fun.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You should see. Like, I think my kids have had enough of them now that they are like they know how to put it on.
You got the pose, so, I love it.
She's like puts her arm around her brother and like brings him in and knows how to do it. So
yeah,
hey, dude,
I hate photo shoots. I just hate them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, I just no. Well, in and out. I'll do the smile for 3 seconds and then out straight away.
Jeez.
Yep.
I love it, dude. Hey, can I tell you how excited I am about the women's retreat?
Yeah, please tell me.
I'm just really excited.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm bummed I won't be able to do the whole thing, but I'm gonna come up for the day on Sunday.
Yeah.
Spend some time with the girls would be really, really nice. And then leave later that
try
night.
to get a free dinner and then piss off.
Oh wow. Here we go. Oh Jesus. Trust you to say something like that. Oh.
Have we got a good list of questions today, mate?
Yeah, we always do, mate. It's always do. Should be fun. Just good to get the original gangsters back on, mate. It's been a very, very long time since you and I have done a Q&A together. Looking forward to it. It'll be a bit of fun.
Something different.
Short, sharp. Let's get these questions answered, and then we can move on with everything. So, yeah, man, far out. I'll tell you what, that COVID strain that I had, it still sitting like right on top of my brain. Like every morning
I can actually see it.
Yeah, can you?
It's amongst the greyness. There's a filter. There's a little bit of COVID sprinkling.
Oh, what a wanker! Wow.
All right, who's giving me shit in the comments saying photo shoot life with Asian wife? Who's that?
Don't know, man.
Man, this whole restream thing's pissing me off.
Yeah, I think Facebook's doing it on purpose, aren't they?
I want to know who this is that's giving me grief.
Photo shoot life with an Asian wife. I'm feeling a little. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I can't tell you because it's not coming up on my end anyway. Let's get cracking with this Q&A. Just remember, hey, Steph, how are you? Good morning.
Tess.
Morning, everyone. It's said hello because Cara, look at that. Cara knows what to do. She puts the name at the end of it. It's Tezza.
Who else?
Well, he would know because he's got the same combination. All right, question number 1 we have. I'm feeling a little flat. Do you have any suggestions on how to get remotivated? Yeah, why are you flat? First question I would ask. But it usually comes down to goals. You're feeling flat because you haven't got a target to aim for. Like for me, it's if you're not in momentum and you don't have a bit of discipline, you're feeling flat because you don't have those habits that are in life that you need to have in a row. Like that's the biggest thing for me. It's a pretty open question. We could probably go too deep on it, but it really comes down to no target. No target. You're feeling flat because you've got nothing to aim for. I know for me with my cardio work, I don't have an event on. So I feel like I'm cruising through things. I'm not putting as much effort as I normally put into because I don't have a target for it. So how do you get remotivated?
Yeah, well, I think like I'm going to go back to first principles here. And that is that if you feel unmotivated and you're thinking that that's a bad, an abnormal thing. I don't know about you guys, but like sometimes I feel very, very fucking unmotivated.
Yep.
That doesn't mean I don't want to do it. I don't care. I feel tired. I feel exhausted. So I think you're right. I think a little flat means that energetically you're a little flat, but you can be flat. You can be unmotivated, but you can just decide that things are important to you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like most day, I think most days you're going to have periods of unmotivation. Most periods you're going to like to think that you're just, people see people like, say, Nick or Clint, and they just see this, they just see the screenshot, which is like, or Terry always motivated. No.
Nah.
It's not. You're getting the highlight reel.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just completely fine on the days that you are feeling unmotivated. Well, then guess what? If you can put a 1 in the box, you've still made a vote for who you want to become. And
Correct.
some days just a 1 is as best you can fucking hope for, and that's good. Because guess what? if you're going to do this for the rest of your life, and you're going to ride this like motivation wave, fuck, it's going to be a rough ride.
Yeah, definitely. And flatness, like I guess people think they have to be at 100% all the time, but sometimes your 100% is only 40%, right? Yeah. So you utilize that 40% to your advantage. I know for me, I'm sitting at about 80% from last week's COVID shit, but I'm going to give it 100%, 80% because that's all I got.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I'm flat. No, it just means that's the only energy levels that I've got. So I'm going to use them to my advantage. But go back to full basics. How do you remotivate? Change up your routine, get a new program, avoid monotony, find someone to make you accountable or a group of people to make you accountable with a bit of discipline. Listen to motivation podcasts, like get some music going, like get things that make you happy. Motivation.
What do you do? What do you specifically do? Like let's take the theory out of it. What do you do when you're feeling a flat spot?
Firstly, I go back to figuring out why I'm flat. And if it is energy, well, I'll probably need sleep, and I'll probably need fuel, and I'll probably need hydration, and I'll probably need some form of exercise to get me back into routine. So that's the simplest form. Yeah.
Yep. I would say exactly the same thing. When I'm feeling flat, I try to take a couple of days off. I usually, it's because I haven't slept enough. I'm drained of energy. So I'll try to leave the booze behind, eat really good, try to walk a bit more, and just stay relaxed for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And that's usually enough to get you sorted. And then spend some time with your kids and go, fuck, well, what am I actually doing this?
Get a high calorie meal in. Like there's people, I know we hear about losing weight, right? Yes, fair enough. And all about eating healthy, but get a high calorie meal in. The truth behind having that extra bit of fucking carbs and fats and shit in your system for the next day to give you another boost of energy is fucking paramount. So don't be afraid to eat the pizza or the burger and the chips and have that comfort thing that's going to make you feel better, because the next day you're going to have an abundance of energy just to use into something that's going to make it more useful. So
I fucking love what Troy's just said then. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Look at work. No one wants to go to work, but we do it because it's vital to our life.
Yeah.
It's so simple when you think of it that way, right?
Yeah, you have no choice, right?
No one wants to go to the gym. No one wants to go for a run. No one's go for a walk. No one wants to eat healthy, but I do it because it's vital to my life.
Yep, it's non-negotiable. So, yeah, why did I feel like shit last week that I couldn't do my workouts? Because it's vital to my life. Now I'm making up for it for sure. So, yeah, I love that. Excellent. Next question. How many beers can I reasonably have without gaining weight?
I'll answer this one. I love this question because you don't drink, so that's you don't need to. Okay,
I still drink 0 beers, so technically.
Oh yes, yes, good call. So I think there's a couple of parts to this. Number one is from a health perspective, as little alcohol as possible is recommended from a health perspective. From a calorie, from a weight management perspective, you just need to think about, well, if it doesn't fit into your calories. It's pretty simple. How many beers can you have? Well, it depends on, I would say, have you hit your protein target for the day? If you're a man and you've hit 200 grams of protein and you've got 300 calories left, then you can have 390 calorie beers. It's a pretty simple way to think about it, right? Does it fit into your, where people get it wrong is that they eat their meals, they balance off their calories and their protein for their food, and then the beers come on top. Second part, so it's a quantity thing, and then it's a quality thing. So the beers, there is just no reason to be drinking 150 calorie beers when you can drink 90 calorie beers. That's the biggest thing. Even if you do want alcohol in your beers, which is completely fine, you literally, why would you drink a VB and someone's going to say, oh, it tastes better? Okay, cool. Why would you drink a VB at 150 calories when you can drink a better beer or a Burley Big Head or something to that effect that's low carb beer? It's 90 calories.
Yeah,
you'd have twice the amount if you want. And then I put that photo in the group the other day. No alcohol Coronas, dude. Oh, no alcohol, 60 calories. I
Wow.
had 4 of them on the balcony in the sun. I'm just going like, this is guilt-free. How fucking good is this?
Yeah,
So
awesome.
yeah, you can still enjoy it, guys. And like, it kind of cottoned on me the other day that this just tastes the same.
Yeah.
Still gives me the same feeling. I can do this basically every day if I want.
You know what the other thing is, right? Like people discount if you're out like having fun and you're dancing and stuff and having beers, you're doing exercise, so you're burning off the beers, all right? Let's keep dancing while we're out.
Especially you, dude. Like, you at a disco is like a duck on a hot plate, mate. You're like
duck on a hot plate.
Let's go. What do we got? We got more questions or
I
what?
can't believe you just said disco. Like, come on, dude.
We're 40, mate.
I know. That's crazy. Yeah, we sure do. Yeah, but if do the work beforehand, and you can have as many beers as you really, really feel like you can fit into your system, in my eyes. Any real benefits from organic and non-organic foods? Massive benefit to your bank account, that's for sure. It depends on what your beliefs are and your thoughts around, like, lower pesticide levels and, I don't know, steroid chicken breasts and things like that. Like, let's not discount it. They are out there and they do it. But it's going to come down to cost in most cases for people, right? If I'm going to go and spend $40 a kilo on chicken breast versus $9.99 a kilo of chicken breast, and it's going to give me pretty much the same return on investment, I'm not going to go spend $40 because I feel guilty if it's fuel that I need to get me through, and I'm budget conscious. If I have an abundance of money and it's going to make me feel better to have that, then I'll do it. But it's kind of really comes down to your beliefs and your budget, in my eyes, really. Because let's face it, like paying $60-$70 a kilo for steak versus 25, it's a big difference. And if you got 3 boys like I've got that eat the house down, fuck, man, you're just going to be working to eat.
Organic food's the cherry on the top, right? And so it's as simple as this: if you were doing everything right and you want to do a little bit more right, go organic.
Yeah.
If you're not tracking your calories, you're not eating to a meal plan, you're not really that active, you're not getting to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, organic foods, it's like the person that kind of goes to McDonald's and orders all the McDonald's and then gets a Diet Coke. It's like, well, yeah, you probably should focus on the macro.
Yeah, definitely right. But if you've got those beliefs in your system and you can't not do it, then hey, I say go for it if it makes you feel good. It's just going to come down to budget and really return on investment from my eyes. But I think that's all we need to say about that. Wash your shit first before you chuck it in your mouth. Yeah. Most of the time you'll get the crap off it. I've heard you say cut the fat off meat to reduce calories. Can you do it after you cook it? You can, but you got to remember, a fatty piece of steak sitting in a hot plate is going to be marinating in its own juices. So you're going to be absorbing up to, I don't know what the percentage would be, but maybe 30-40% of the fat into your actual meat. So you're doing yourself a real disservice, unless it's a 7-school Wagyu, which I understand. And the taste will vary. I would never, ever cut the fat off that. My name's not Jay Stewart. Got a really good story about fat cutting about you too, with the duck at Nico's restaurant, but we won't go into that.
Look, I think in this circumstance, I think that it's a temptation thing. Yeah. If you like to eat the fat, well, then ask yourself, are you more likely to eat the fat when it's cooked or when it's raw? When it's raw, it doesn't smell, doesn't look good, doesn't taste good. Cut it off then, no temptation. It's like the person that has a soda addiction. Just don't buy soda in the first place, then you won't be tempted. Don't cook the fat with the meat on, you won't be tempted.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, and it is a big deal. Like, the worst part is, like, we're paying for that when we go to the shop, right? We're paying for the fat. You buy a pork shoulder, fuck, you're cutting 40%, 30% of the fat off if you're conscious about that. So sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm a waste of money, but you think about your gut, because that's a ton of calories. I think we cut off like 900 grams once off a pork shoulder. Like, if you times that by whatever the calorie ratio is, it's massive.
Yeah, I did that the other day when I did a pulled, or Cordia did a pulled pork, and it was literally about 900 grams of fat come off the 3 kilos.
Yep.
And then you times that roughly by, it's not exactly right, roughly by 8 calories per gram.
Yep.
It's like 4,000 or 5,000 calories there that would have been put into your family's calorie intake when you could just cut it off and not have to work that fat off. Very simple.
100%. It is a big deal. And for you guys that are weight conscious, it's something you've got to get into the habit of doing. As I said again, we'll go back to if you really enjoy lamb chops, and I love lamb chops because the fat tastes really, really good when it's rendered well. Sacrifice your calories and have them, but do some work before or after and counteract it. But if it's a big porterhouse or something that's got a big strip of fat on the side of it, mate, you're going to do yourself an absolute favor by cutting that off and just eating it properly. So we're talking about health and wellness. We're talking about weight maintenance, and that's the main thing. Is those little 5%ers make a massive difference. Swapping your full strength Coke for a Coke Zero, massive difference. We're talking 150 calories difference. So it's the same with your meat. So don't discount it. What's a good pre-workout meal? Oof, I love it. Well,
what do you do?
For me, I think like people, again, discount carbs. Carbs are super important before you work out because we need energy and we get that from carbohydrates. Everyone's different. I can't have a big meal before I work out because it just, if I squat, I'll shoot myself. Right? Let's put it pretty simple. I like to have dry ingredients before I work out because I feel like I can digest them a lot better. For me, it's better to have 50 grams of my kids' Milo cereal or rice cakes with a bit of peanut butter and jam on it because I get a bit of sugar as well and some fat in there. So for me, it's important that I fill myself up with carbs before I go to the gym. When I say fill, I'm not having a massive meal bowl of pasta. I'm just having something light and easy and accessible that I can take to the gym to get that amount of energy. All right. If you have protein before workout, like some people can digest it. Me, it sits there too much. As we know, it takes a lot longer to digest than everything else. You want something fast acting, easily digestible. You're doing yourself a disservice because you'll feel crampy and upset and you won't want to do your big lifts. That's when the actual thing comes into play. So for me, let's look for things that are carby based, bit of sugar. They're really, really good for your pre-workout. Some people have Greek yogurt and fruit can help, but again, it's liquidy protein that really affects me.
Yeah, I mean, banana and coffee or raisin toast with some cottage cheese and a coffee.
That, since you introduced me, that is one of my absolute most favorite snacks in the world, and a little bit of cinnamon on top.
Yeah,
you cannot go wrong. Absolutely. So yeah, but to go back to even worse, don't go pre-workout shit. Like, let's just have a coffee shot. Something you can digest. Pretty simple, but everyone's different. So just test it out before you do it. Next one is, how do you take your protein? Water or something else?
Yeah, I mean, that's simple.
Protein powder, because I ain't going to put a steak in milk. That's my protein.
If you're after like supplementary protein, in water. There's no need to add the additional stuff. And then that's why you'd get a flavored protein. And then the second thing is, but me personally, I have it nearly always in oats. As like 2 scoops protein in oats. Happy days.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of protein powder in yogurt because to me it's just like, especially Greek yogurt, it just enhances the flavor. And then if you freeze it, you can make it like an ice creamy type thing. So again, like it's
oh really? I've never done that.
Dude, chuck a bowl in the freezer with yogurt and protein powder, and it comes out perfect, like an ice cream. It's really, really good, especially in summer. But you'll find it. Test your protein powders first, right? Because a lot of them don't really dilute themselves really well or dissolve in water really well. It's like some of them out there are very clumpy and you need milks for it. If you're going to use milk, because a lot of people do like milk for their protein shake because they feel like it's a milkshake, just go for your almond milks or your skim milks or something like that just to take the calories down. We've got to be conscious about calories. The thing is, it's a supplement. It's supplementing your protein, but we don't want to chuck a heap of calories on top of it as well. It's already got calories in there, so we're doing ourselves a disservice.
Agreed.
Cool. When should I apply progressive overload or add more weights or sets or reps to my exercise? So let's break it down simply. When should I start looking at upping my weight intake at the gym?
Yeah. The simplest thing I think most people need to understand is that your reps should tell you what weight to lift. So whatever the reps in the program are, that should tell you what weight to lift. Not, I do how many ever reps of a chosen weight. So if you're new to the gym or if you're advanced, doesn't matter. Same principle applies. You look at the rep count on your program, and if the rep count says 10 repetitions, you choose a weight that you can do 10 repetitions. If you then do that weight and you can't get 10 repetitions out, it means it's too heavy. If you are going on to that weight and you're doing 12, 13, or 14 repetitions, it's too light.
Yeah.
That's when you should start to improve your weights that you're lifting.
Yeah.
So you always use the rep range to determine the amount of weight that you put on the bar or the amount of weight that you lift.
And generally, you will see results in about, say, a couple of weeks, so 2 to 3 weeks. If you're say you got your 10 rep range and you're doing 100 kilos on your bench press, generally after 2 to 3 weeks, it'll feel like a piece of piss, and that's when your sign is to start upping your weights. Now, don't be a fucking hero and start putting big plates on. We're talking about, if you're doing 100 kilo bench press, 2.5 kilos on each side is like a 5% increase. Like, it's big. You don't go from a 10 kilo dumbbell to a 20. Yeah. You can't go from 100 to 140, right? It's just not the way it works. Progressive means small increments, people. Progressive means small increments. Okay, that's what you got to think about.
That's a really good clarification. Yeah. I think, and obviously you need to make sure that the form stays right. And so how often or how frequent should you do it? You should be doing it all the time. That's the whole goal of progressive training. You should be always looking to add more weights. The two questions you ask yourself is, am I hitting the rep range? Is my form compromised? If those two things are consistent, we're good.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. With progressive overload being the thing we need to do to increase our muscle mass, again, I want to highlight the fact is we've got to be taking ego out when form comes into play. You cannot sacrifice form for anything. It's the one thing in my life that changed everything. 10 rep range, 4 rep range, it doesn't matter if you're doing super heavy or super light. Form is king.
Agreed.
Why do I get dizzy when I work out? Stop doing spin classes and it's purely going to come down to a couple of things. Dehydration usually is the first one. Lack of sleep can definitely affect it big time when you work out. Overexertion, not enough energy, fuel in your system, i.e. pre-workout food. Like, yes, there's some merit in training, what do they call it, fasted, but it's not going to be a benefit to anybody like us mums and dads or guys and girls that want to do weight training. We need energy for that. Can come down to breathing while you're lifting too, right? You see a lot of those guys doing these big heavy lifts and they hold their breath for so long that they black out. Like, there's so many different things. It's going to mostly come down to dehydration in my eyes when you're getting dizzy, because you don't have enough fluids in your system.
Yep. Not much more to add to that, bro.
Legend. All right, 2 to go, brother. Are there any other ways to test overall strength rather than PBs in lifts?
Yeah, this is a challenging question, because I think particularly for men, they know that they want to be progressively overloading all of the time. But then there's this tendency to sort of say, well, how much can I lift? And I certainly love doing that.
Yeah.
There is a risk associated with it. Particularly, I would say, unless you are an advanced trainer, testing 1 repetition maxes, like a 1 repetition max squat or deadlift, there's just not a lot of value in it. I mean, why do you want to do it is probably a better question. If you want to do it to be able to capture the video and show your mates how strong you are, like, I get that totally. But the risk of that is like, well, you hurt yourself in the lift and then you won't be lifting for 6 months. So I just don't know necessarily if there is a high value to that.
Yeah, especially when you're lifting heavy weights. I totally agree. The question is, are there any other ways to test overall strength rather than PBs? Yeah, push-up reps, chin-up reps, like the body weight stuff. Like, it's tough. It's tough. Like, to get to 10 pull-ups or chin-ups, that takes a long time, especially if you're a bigger person. Planks over time, endurance. How quick can you sprint or do a 5K? Like, there's so many other ways to test strength other than just going and busting your gut in the gym and injuring yourself. But yeah, like Jay said, comes down to, do you really need to? Are you in the gym training for that reason? If not, like, leave the ego at the door and don't injure yourself so you can continue
I think
lifting.
going back to the last question, test overall strength. It's not necessarily overall strength, but strength progression. I think most people would be better asking themselves, rather than saying, how strong am I? They should ask themselves a better question, which is, am I getting stronger? See the difference?
Yeah.
How strong am I? Absolutely. Am I getting stronger? So the way that you know if you're getting stronger or not is the weight going up? So this is why when you're tracking inside the app, you want to be looking over time and you say, okay, I'm doing a squat. Am I getting stronger over time? Even if the repetition's listed at 10 reps, but over time, the weight that you're doing of that 10 reps is slowly progressing, you are getting stronger.
Yeah.
So I think that's a better question to ask than how strong am I? Is my strength progressing?
Yeah, beautiful. Love that. All right, last question, which will be one of our favorites. Why do protein shakes give me mad farts?
There can be a few reasons for this, actually. So firstly, the increase in protein itself. Some people have a whey intolerance and they just struggle to process it. It doesn't sit well with them. That's one reason. There is some artificial sweeteners in most protein powders, and that's because they need a way to obviously flavor them and make them taste decent, because at the end of the day, it's just milk powder, basically. So they're probably the two reasons that you get the farts.
Yep.
Now, is it
Totally
dangerous? Agree. Not necessarily. No, I'd say it's not dangerous. I guess the better question is, should you persist with taking protein powder?
Not mate. So
yeah, well, true. But from a supplement perspective, if whey doesn't sit well with you, should you keep taking whey? Not if it persists. You probably want to find yourself an alternative source of protein that doesn't react as hard as whey potentially does.
Yeah, totally. And I think I've got probably the perfect answer for this. It's your body tooting its own horn to say, hey, well done, you got your protein target levels hit, and there you go. Yeah. It's celebrating. Yeah. For sure. Oh, dude, that's it for today, man. Thanks for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. It's good to see your beautiful face and get the old gang back in action. When are you back? When are you this way? In March?
20th. Yeah, I land on the 22nd of March, so we're ready to rock and roll.
Can't wait to catch up.
All right. Peace out, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. See ya.